Welcome aboard, dear spectators here at Elon Motors TV at this edition today, first time in English for all of you around the world. Tesla Model 3, founder of a new era. We are talking about the EV era now coming into our countries. Today we are comparing the Model 3 performance with the fastest EV cars around the world. Porsche Taycan 4S and Turbo S, and of course 0 to 60 record holder Tesla Model S performance in the Raven version. Stay tuned, enjoy the ride. In today's edition, we look at these four fast EV cars. We give you first impressions of all of them, and then we compare their performances, acceleration and top speed. Look at the comfort level they are traveling and providing place for, and of course the ranges they can achieve, even at high speed. Then of course we have to look at how much money we have to pay to get them, and we give points for everything, and then we put our ranking together and present to you who is the winner of this edition's fastest EV cars. Stay tuned, enjoy! We are starting off with the overview of the four fastest EV cars: Porsche Taycan 4S, Porsche Taycan Turbo S, Tesla Model S performance, and the Tesla Model 3 performance. We're looking at the performance, what's their top speed, what's their acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, and the comfort, how many people can sit in it, how much luggage can it hold. Then we're looking at the ranges and the price point, and where can you use the car, like what's the charging network available. Looking at the Taycan 4S, you can ride at 250 km per hour top speed, 4.0 to 100 km per hour, 4+1 people, so 2 grown-ups in the back plus 1 teenager. If you configure the car, of course you can also configure it as a 4-seater only, and 488 liters in front and back. If you look at the Turbo S, similar, a little bit faster, 260, and faster in acceleration, 2.8 seconds, and a little bit less luggage space. Model S, 261, 2.6, 5 persons. Really, this is the biggest car of them all, and the biggest loading in the front and back of 894 liter. And the Model 3 performance, also 261 top speed, 3.40 to 60, 4+1. The teenager in the middle, no problem at the Model 3 performance, 488 liters like the Taycan 4S. At the range, we present the WLTP results the manufacturers distribute to us, and realistically speaking, if you ride 120 on the Autobahn, you can achieve the result of about 432 km on the Taycan 4S, 385 on the Turbo, 550 on the Model S performance, and 495 on the Model 3 performance. Realistically, in a normal usage where you go a little bit faster, 370 km, a little bit faster means like up to 130, not crazily riding. 370, 330 on the Turbo S, 475 on the Model S performance, and 425 on the Model 3 performance. Price points, this is the configuration. We chose to make them look almost the same. 132,000 euros for the Taycan 4S base price is there, 105,000. The Taycan Turbo S's base price is 185, and we configure it a little bit higher at 196. 109 the Model S base price there is 102,000, and the Model 3 performance base price is 54. The usage according to the network, national usage in the Porsche arena, because you can charge at home and at selected points throughout Germany, but if you want to go through Europe, it's really getting more complicated, at least at the stage of right now. For the Teslas, of course, supercharger network throughout Europe, and of course in the US, Canada, and in China. We are starting with the impressions. First, the new Porsche Taycan today in the edition 4S, which is the most achievable one, and the fastest, the Turbo S. Super design, and we just present here pictures representing both of them, because you can configure the 4S with the same wheels and brakes as the Turbo S, and it almost looks the same then. From the inside, also very similar. We configured it with a dark edition cruel-free leather today, and you can see this is the 4+1 edition. You can choose either have a 4-seater, 2 seats in the back, or 4+1 with a little child seatable in the middle, or you have to squeeze in. Very sporty design, very nice, and you see everything is touchpad, very modern. But of course, sit inside to really get a good feeling of this cockpit. Looking at the range of the Porsche Taycan 4S, it is 463 kilometers. Realistically speaking, 120 to 130 kilometers per hour on the autobahns is then about 370 kilometers. And for the daily charging, between 10 to 80% of the battery, which is recommended in our Model 3 presentation. We explained this, why it is done this way in practical conditions. We will give you a link later on, or you just find it a few weeks before we publish this edition to explain all of this. This would mean that if you only charge between 10 and 80%, which is recommended for the battery, 260 kilometer ranges, and if you really need to go far, you should charge up to 90% and then use it down to 5% for battery purposes. That's okay. Then you would get 315 kilometer for long ranges. But in this edition, we introduce looking at 200 kilometers per hour highway speeds in Germany, of course, only possible. There, this range would go down to about 160 kilometers. So be aware, if you run those fast cars on the highways very fast, your range goes significantly down. Looking at the network of charging, of course, you can charge at home and some spots on the ways around Europe, but you are right now responsible to find those places. But in the future, this will improve, of course, as Porsche promises. Looking at the result of the Turbo S, a little bit less range, 412 kilometers, realistically 330, and then on a daily charge, 230 kilometers, and long range charging up to 90%, 280. Reducing at 200 kilometer highway speed, 140 kilometers. And the network structure to charge still at home, and where Porsche recommends on the route, but be aware that you prepare your route before. Now looking at the big brother of the Model 3, the Model S Performance Raven Edition, built since 2019 with more efficient engines, longer range and even faster performance. Here you can see with 21-inch wheels and the red disc showing this is the performance model with super high speed, super high acceleration. Now looking at the interior of the Tesla Model S, here represented the white edition. You can see white crew-free leather in the front and back, and black Alcantara roof and a black leather front dashboard design with black wood or carbon structure on the Model S Performance. Compared to the Model 3, it looks a little bit old-fashioned, but compared to the Taycan, of course, it's absolutely state-of-the-art. Here you even have two big displays in the middle, the 17-inch center navigation and computer screen, and in front of you you have a big view with the autopilot and driving conditions presented. Looks very nice. Please look at our Raven Model S test from a few weeks ago to have further impressions of the interior, or just find and check one out. What is absolutely cool is to sit and look at this big glass roof. Compared to the Taycan interior, it looks bigger, and as we said, in the back you can sit with 3 grown-up people. One comment I was receiving from one of our readers: yeah, it used to be that there were 2 seats in the back, so 7 people could have been placed into the Model S, but this is not an option right now. Maybe in the future you can see that. Basically, those 2 rearward-facing passengers would be kids, up to teenagers, who would be sitting in the back. So it would be a 5+2 seating position in the Model S, but right now there's only 5 seats available. Looking at the range performance of the Tesla Model S Performance, we are looking at the king of range, WLTP, 590 kilometers, realistically 550 at 120 autobahn speed, and on a daily charge almost 400 at 385 kilometers. And if you want to take it long range, you charge up to 90% and then go for 465 kilometers. With this fast car you can go more than 200 kilometers at super high speeds, 230 kilometers, and with the network structure of supercharging you can do this all around Europe. And The super benefit of the Model S is right now that you have lifelong supercharging for free when you purchase this car, which is great. And if you're smart charging, you just pre-charge a little bit at home, a few 100 kilometers or 100 kilometers, and then go en route, and then you fill up fastly on the supercharger network. And number 4 of the competitors, the Tesla Model 3 performance, first of a new era. If you look at it, the design looks pretty similar to the Model S, a little bit smaller, and we show you the pictures here of the Model 3 performance. Recognizable with the big rims, 20-inch red discs from Brembo, and the carbon spoiler at the back of the car. On the inside, very modern design with a central 15-inch screen, and in the back you can see the big glass roofs, and here presented the white edition with the cruel-free leather. Compared to the other 3 competitors, of course the materials used in the interior are not of the highest level. Speaking, there is no leather on the boards except in the side panels of the doors, and there is no Alcantara or leather on the roof or on the A and B and C structures. But this is the same on the Porsche Taycan. Even there you have to pay money to get some higher materials than the normal cloth. Model S here with Alcantara all around. Looking at the range of the Model 3 performance, you also get 530 kilometers WLTP, realistically almost 495 kilometers, and on a daily charge this gives you 345. On a long range trip charged up to 90%, 420 kilometers. And if you take this car very fast on the Autobahn, again at 200 kilometers, you can expect a mileage of more than 210 kilometers. And of course the charging network is well established around the US, in China and in Europe. Grading their performance, comfort and range, we are looking at the performance top speed. For 250 km per hour you get 10 points, and linearly above that points more. So at 260 km per hour the Turbo S 1 point more, 11 points. The acceleration, you get 10 points if you can go from 0 to 100 kilometers in 5 seconds, you get 10. The Taycan 4S can do that in 4 seconds. Linearly it gets 13 points. The others are even faster, so they get points on top. For the comfort, we were looking at the space the cars offer. So for 5 people, 10 points. The 4S can do that with 4 plus 1, so 8 points, and the Model S can do that with 10 points, and the Model 3 Performance also only as a 4.1 seater, 8 points. For the luggage, 500 liter gives you 10 points, and linearly less and more, 9 points for the Taycan Turbo S, 18 points for the Performance Model S, and 10 points for the 3. Looking at the range, WLTP 600 kilometer gives you 10 points, and linearly the Taycan 4S only 8, the Turbo S 7, the Model S can get 10, and the Model 3 Performance can 9. The charging network, of course, it's well established throughout Europe, Asia and North America, so 10 points out of 10 for the Teslas. And right now the situations for the Taycan, it's building up in Europe with Ionity and other chargers, so 50% of that is 5 points. Totaling up, Taycan 4S 54 points, Turbo 58, Model S 78 and Model 3 63. Looking at the costs of all these 4 cars, we are looking at the car prices. The base price is listed here, and we configured our test cars to be comparatively level to each other. Of course, the Porsches you can configure much more expensive than the ones we have here, and but we keep it level so the Teslas have a same interior. Electricity, we're looking at 20,000 kilometer driving per year. 50% is charged at home and 50% is en route charge. If you keep it very slow speed, you would end up with a bill of about 1,535 euros for the 4S, for the Turbo a little bit more, for the Model S 600 euro, and this is only because you charge at home. If you only take it to superchargers en route, you would actually pay anything because it's free. On the Model 3, we look at 50% charging at home, and the rest would be paid at the superchargers. But if you go fast speed on these cars, electricity bill will double, and that's why those figures double here. The insurance for the Model 3 we know for sure 700 euro for a driver with 20 years experience. Model S a little bit more expensive, and the Taycan's more expensive, and this is in relation to their test car price. The rating is then taken by taking the test car's price divided by the points achieved from the previous table, and then you get a figure. So of course the most expensive is the Turbo S, although it has more points than the 4S, but it's much more expensive, so the result here is a higher value, 2,580 per point compared to the Taycan 4S. But the cheapest and the most efficient is the Model 3 Performance with only 750 euro per point. These results in relation to the number linearly give a point result for the Taycan 4S 5 points, for the Turbo S 4 points, Model S 9 points, and 13 for the Model 3. And we're looking at 1,000 euro per point. This would give you 10 points. Alright, and now we take all those points and get in our ranking table. All the calculations were made linearly and mostly objectable, and of course if we talk about the interior and exterior, we try to be very basic and objective in everything, because everybody's taste is different. Those are just the facts and the numbers and the materials we were talking about. But now here we come to the ranking. We start with the 4th rank, and the 4th rank goes to the Porsche Taycan 4S with 77 points achieved. That gives him the 4th rank. In our configuration it costs 132,000 points, and divided by 77 points gives it a price value of 1,830 euros per point, 4th rank. And again, you can see in the right hand corner the range table in kilometers and miles for our English spectators. That gives it a price point per kilometer range of 285 euros. 3rd rank goes to the highly expected Porsche Taycan Turbo S, the fastest of the new Porsches. 80 points for the Taycan. That gives him a range of 475 euro kilometer according the right upper table, and a price point of 2,580 euro per point. He is definitely the most expensive in the round, but definitely the most emotional. And the silver medal goes to the Tesla Model 3, the cheapest in the round, definitely with 750 euros per point at an intro price of 56,000 euros. It achieved 88 points. 109 euro per kilometer range, that is even comparatively the same as the Model 3 standard range, which we compared before in our test. So Model 3 surprisingly in the performance edition made it up there into the 2nd rank. And the winner and the gold medal goes to the Tesla Model S Performance Raven Edition, built since April this year at a price point of 109,000 euros. It delivers the highest speed, the highest acceleration, the biggest space for the passengers, interior design with high value material, 103 points. That makes 1,160 euro per point in the medium range, and 112 euro per kilometer range. Even that is a very exceptional result. So clear winner of the comparison, the Tesla Model S Performance. Last but not least, we provide you a result summary. Here you can find all the points achieved, the price points, and the core values of every car. Just press hold and you can take a look and breath about this. So here is the result summary from our comparison. This concludes our comparison of these 4 fast EV cars, the 2 Porsches, Taycan 4S and Turbo S, and the 2 Teslas, Model S Performance and Model 3 Performance. We try to give you a first help at making your decision if you want to buy one of those. Of course, everybody likes certain brands more or less. We try to be objective and give you some help looking at performance, comfort, and the range performance, which is very important on EV cars, and also at the ranges you can go on high speed, what those cars are designed for. We will be driving all 4 of those, and then we will extend this result table in the future. So if you like this comparison, please give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe the channel, which is at no cost. This keeps you in the loop for the upcoming tests and extension of these tests. Keep safe and enjoy the ride. Thank you for watching Elon Motors TV, and see you soon.